Hello crochet friends, this is Beanie-Tastic number 12. Now I do get asked sometimes why beanies, and I find them a great way to learn and practice crochet stitches, as well as combination stitches. This is G Crochet Off the Hook. I'm G, Geraldine, sharing my beanie adventures. Now beanies can be made for yourself, for loved ones, or community projects. And my beanies is a stash of beanies that I like to grow, even though we're heading into very hot weather, for the winter months. And then they are able to distribute beanies that are needed in our community. And this year's journey continues to be a joy as I join Litsa from Coco's Crochet, who has a Beanie of the Week pick in her vlogs. Her vlogs are jam-packed with many inspiring, awesome makes by crocheters from all over. So be sure to go and have a look at her vlogs. You'll also learn about some of the other crochet along projects that she has. And then the second source of my joy has come from Bun Hat with Laura from Mad Mimi's Crochet and Farming, as we are working through a wonderful list of beanie tutorials by Crystal from Bag O Day. Now I have seemed to gather a whole lot of beanies again, and I haven't had a chance to share them. So let's dive in and have a look at what I have off the hook for Beanie-Tastic 12. Oh, and I can't forget, this is Pink October, Awareness Month for breast cancer for women and men around the world. And I have also double dipped on some of my beanies that I was able to make in pink in joining Judy from Witch Piece Crafts, as she had hashtag Pink October Challenge AU. And yes, I am wearing my pink heart applique today, and it's not a surprise to my family and friends. I do often take part in the Cancer Shave-a-thon, and I used to do that as part of big groups that used to do that. I don't get out as often, and I'm unable to do the cancer walk. I'm just a little bit claustrophobic and intimidated by the crowds that we now have. And I do have a picture or two that I can submit. My eldest and son-in-law and little Milo, who celebrated his first birthday during last week, they did take part in our city's big cancer walk that they have in October, and she shared those pictures with us. Even little Milo was all geared up, and it's just a month to remember some of the challenges that we face, and that we need to take care of our health. So my love and my thought and my prayers go out to all of those who have moved on, who are still facing the struggles, and to the families that support all of them as well. Yes, every day is a day to be celebrated, and although I don't often use the color pink, I have definitely made use of shining some pink sparkle this month, thanks to Judy for having us with Pink October Challenge. Right, let's get on and dive in to all these beanies that I have laid out here for Beanie-Tastic number 12. And we will start off with a Bag O Day beanie, and this one I made with Elite Yarn Snowball Kotapo using a 6mm hook. It's 100% acrylic. I did make a 6 to 12 month beanie using some of those tips that I shared with you on my last beanie video. And this is a Crochet Beanie Hat Day by Bag Day. And I used the Cartapo Snowball. Lovely beanie that you can adjust for a small or a big size. And again, love the texture. So that was number 1. Number 2 is from our Beanie of the Week. And this was a fun beanie to make. And I did use a variegated yarn. This is the Swirl Beanie Hat. And it's a tutorial with Olga Poltava. And I used Owl Yarn's Charity in the colorway Cold Lobster with a 6mm hook for the body. And I didn't need to decrease any of my stitches at the bottom here. I just changed hook size to 5mm, and we had this gorgeous effect from the variegated yarn, which was the Charity Cold Lobster. And then I did already start wanting to make beanies with pink. So I made this Bag Day beanie, which is called Crochet Unisex Slouchy Scarf Set Beanie. But I'm needing to start stocking up on baby beanies again. So I still made exactly the same beanie tutorial, used the same beanie tutorial as Crystal gives us. But I used this Kismet 67 blankets yarn. It is a light 4-weight, but I used a 6mm hook, and I got this gorgeous about 6 to 12 months old beanie, and the colorway of this is Flamingo. Beautiful stitches in this one. And so far all the beanies I've showed you are top down. Then we went for a little trip to Paris with Litza, as she gave us this gorgeous beanie of the week called the Gourmet Beret. And I used Kismet's Pop-Up. This is a recycled acrylic 70% and 30% acrylic. I must say it is a lovely squishy yarn. I used a 7mm hook. And this Gourmet Beret is a pattern by the Snugglery. And it brought back many memories of when we traveled to France, and we encountered some of the artists that sat across the bridges that were doing portraits, and they were wearing traditional black berets. Some of them had some sparkly berets on. So that was a fun going down memory lane when I came across this beret beanie. And then we move on to this one that's sitting right here in the corner. This was a Bag Day beanie, and it is the Easy Single Crochet Beanie. I used a combination of 3 different yarns and a 4.5mm hook. Now, peeps, my brain was a little bit challenged while I was making this very easy single crochet beanie, because for all my crochet projects like blankets, wearables, everything except amigurumi, I yarn over. So when I started this single crochet beanie, I did actually persevere and complete it. Number 1, yay me. because now I can tick it off my list. But I think I kept getting to about round 3 or 4 already. And because of the nature of knowing that I'm just doing single crochets, I constantly wanted to do the yarn under, yarn over, which is what I use for amigurumi. And I had to tell myself, no, we're not mixing the 2 stitches, because I did try that for a few rows. So this took quite a bit of dedication and concentration to only do yarn over while I completed this beanie. It is a time-consuming beanie, especially since I used just a single strand of a lightweight DK yarn and a 4.5mm hook. But I used a beautiful natural pink, is what it's called, Charity Owl yarns, for the crown section. And then I dug into my yarn scraps, because I was so wanting to try and make something pink, that I pulled out some watermelon, and I did three rows of watermelon, 3 rows of a Utopo variegated yarn, 3 watermelon, the variegated, 3 watermelon, the variegated, and then I went back and ended off with the natural pink color. And I was intrigued to keep going with this beanie because the pattern kept me going. But I must admit, I don't think I would like to do a plain single crochet beanie again unless it's with super bulky yarn, because this did take some time. But I'm quite pleased with the way that the beanie turned out. So that was our easy single crochet beanie from Crystal and Fago Day. And then some of you may have seen I did get to have a little bit of a pink yarn shopping trip. So the next beanie that came up with Coco's Crochet was a messy bun beanie by Craft with Jess, and I got to use this Kismet lollipop. It is on the thin side of a DK, so I did double strand this. Found a pink hairband to use and then totally forgot it. But it turned out to be fine, because the way that the messy bun beanie is constructed, this is a very solid section here for somebody to pull their ponytail through. And I used a 5.5mm hook, and the colorway was Dusty Pink, 100% acrylic. And isn't that just a gorgeous messy bun beanie? And you can see that the top section here is quite solid, so it will definitely hold a good head of hair in a ponytail. That was our messy bun beanie, Craft with Jess. And then from Lara we got to make some ear warmers. And unfortunately I only have one to share with you, as the other one is already in use. So I made 2 of these. It's a Bag O' Day tutorial, the Crochet Ear Warmer, and I made the original one. I made with a 5.5mm hook and some Cartapo Snowball in this beautiful color. And before I even had sewn in the ends, my youngest said, "Oh, thank you very much. She's in need of one of those." She wears that when she washes her face and everything, so it just turned out to be the perfect color and the perfect size for her. So I did make a second one, and this was also with some Utapa. All of these are 100% acrylic, and you can make it, the first one I made was wider than this one, but you can make it to the size that you want, so almost into a headband and even wider for a good ear warmer. And of course Crystal's instructions are so easy to follow that you have a perfect crossover in the middle. That was our crochet ear warmers. And then I got to use more of my very beautiful pink. This one's called Petal Pink. It's Kismet's Knitspiration Chunky. And this was a beanie of the week called the All Knots Beanie. It's also a bag o' day tutorial. And I used a 6mm hook. And this is the beautiful stitch that you get. I'm trying to remember, I think it was, did she say it's a herringbone like stitch, half double crochet, but you don't turn. This isn't a beanie that you turn. And all these beanies, yes, still on track so far. I worked from the top down. But isn't that just a fabulous stitch? Starting from the top. And I think the pink was just the perfect color for this beanie. That's the All Knots Beanie. And was also a bag o' day tutorial. And then I can't remember who I watched, but somebody did post that they had just completed a beanie by Spring, the fiber enthusiast, and because I did have some of this left and I was still playing around with this on the table in front of me, I got to make Spring, the fiber enthusiast Jewel and Ruin beanie, and it's another beanie I can add to my baby stash. Isn't that so pretty? I can just imagine different color combinations to make this beautiful beanie. That was the Jewel and Ruin beanie. Okay, and then just this week, and I was going to keep them over, but it's quite busy at the moment, becoming even busier as we head towards the end of the year. So I didn't want to keep beanies on the back burner. I thought I'd just share everything that I had right up to date, which includes making another one of my favorite beanies, because I do have a list of all the beanies that I've been making during the course of the year, and those that suit making being made in batches for my community projects. And this one was ticked off as one that I have made already quite a few of and continue to make, because we did have this as beanie of the week in June with Coco's Crochet, and Laura gave us this one. It's the Under the Stairs beanie by Bag O' Day. This is a super gorgeous beanie to make. It's so quick. It's just front posts, back posts, and then this awesome single crochet in the back loop for the bottom end section over here. So this will actually get 2 stars on my list, so that I know that I'm really enjoying this one. And I used Kismet's pop-up in this beautiful color and a 5.5mm hook. Yes, love it, love it, love it. So another Under the Stairs beanie into my stash for my community drop-offs, which will only happen next year unless there is a call for something. And then last but not least, I was so happy to do these, and I'm starting to do them in other colors as well, because these turned out to be a wonderful addition to my baby's beanies, and that is the Cluster Stitch Hat by Crochet by Nora. This is one of our beanie of the weeks, And as Litza shared with us, look how gorgeous that is, making the cluster stitch right from the crown down. And I used again this Kismet 67 Blankets colorway Flamingo, and all I did was change my hook size. So I'm not double stranding any of this. I made this little one with 4mm, and the next one I made was with a 5mm, and you can see just the hook size, but doing the pattern as it is in the tutorial, I did get 2 different sizes. So, and I also think it's just a beautiful beanie for a baby, very breathable. And I can just imagine these in all the other colors that I'll be able to make them in. And that's a wrap, guys, for all the pinks that I was able to add into Pink October. And 11, although I have 13 makes here, I did make more of some of them. So, sorry, I'm taking these all out. They're all going to go into the washing machine for a good fluff up. And then they will be stored with my box that's growing on that side. All our beautiful beanies for BEANIE-Tastic number 12. Thanks so much for letting me share these beanies with you, and I hope you found something that you'd like to get your hook stuck into. Practice those stitches and combination stitches, and just share the joy of how beautiful BEANIE-Tastic can be. Until I see you all again, have a wonderful day. Happy crocheting!